blown away in
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
other
we're not
towns.
gonna find out for-
Unfortunately, yeah.
A few weeks.
Yeah, but, sorry.
I'm sorry. So I just think, why can't it wait till June? My guess is some of this stuff is gonna be facing us pretty quickly, long before June. And,
Well,
rather than depleting unless we call for another special in June if we use the reserve fund, and again, that's up to the finance committee, it's out of our hands. And again, they're generally rather conservative as far as expending the funds from that source. We could do something in June.
I would prefer then, if we're gonna do that, is to take some sizable portion of this amount of money and put it in the reserve fund. Add it to the reserve fund, let the finance committee deal with it.
Yeah,
Then if it
that's a
isn't,
mechanism that is available,
Right.
right.
Greg,
My suggestion again is we do have a warrant article. Article number 20 deals with capital expenditures. We did not provide specific items in the warrants, so we certainly do have some flexibility to reassess what our costs are and transfer monies under those articles for the purposes of road improvements or facility improvements. I'm just not comfortable in bringing a number to town meeting when someone says, what's the basis of your justification? I'm gonna say it's a 10,000-foot view, not a specific number that I've really had time, and I just don't have time to put that number together for town meeting in a couple of days.
Yeah, I'm not overly, and I understand your concern, Greg, I don't wanna leave you open to unnecessary criticism. But I'd be more than happy to share some of the responsibilities with you on that, because I think there isn't anybody out there that doesn't expect that there's gonna be some extraordinary costs that we weren't counting on in relation to the impact of the storm. And I like the idea of at least having some additional revenue available in the short order, so we don't have to wait until June to do it. And if the mechanism, as the chairman suggested, of putting in the reserve fund
yeah,
allows us to do that.
just say you have some anticipated costs, and we're putting money in the
Okay.
reserve fund to cover it.
Yep.
And
So if you can
it's
identify.
not being just allocated.
Yeah, so if you can if you're not wiping out the surplus in these other accounts,
I'm
and
not.
and we have some additional revenues that we can allocate to the reserve fund for the specific purpose of addressing storm damage,
Okay.
I think that would be just another item under this.
Makes sense?
That makes sense to me.
Okay. All right, so who's gonna
Whatever you come
do,
up with.
who's gonna
I will.
do, moving right along, who's gonna do Article 1?
If you want, I'll do it, that's fine.
You're gonna have to get together with him and
Yeah,
finalize the numbers, okay?
I'm ready.
Steve's doing number 1. Article 2, prior year's bills. Volunteer?
I'll do it.
Joe. We don't have much here, do we, Greg, as I recall?
We have one medical bill for a retired public safety
Right.
employee, $695.
And nothing else has come up?
No.
What was it, 695?
$695.
And Article 3, the special town meeting?
This one?
what?
Who's doing 695?
I am.
John.
Joe.
Joe.
And then Article 23, fund retirement obligations. How much is that now, Greg?
It's $75,000.
And that's to cover the,
We had we had 3 unanticipated retirements that we had to pay the buybacks on, and those were not foreseen when we went to town meeting last year.
I'll take it.
And I can get you the
if,
detail on it.
This general government and school?
in the
Yes.
case,
No, these actually are all
in-
general government retirements.
So, general government?
in the,
yes.
in the case of death, we have obligations too?
Not in that instance, no.
No?
No.
Okay. All right, so
I'll take it.
Sean's gonna take it, okay. So be sure to get all the detail
Oh,
from
yeah.
Greg. Okay. Regular town meeting, we're gonna go through, up to Article 19, I think. No, 19 is the operating budget. We're gonna do through 18, right? That's the intent?
That's right.
Okay, so Selection of town offices, and here, reports of town committees. I'll do that. Do the easy ones. What?
Start off with a win.
And then we have, what?
Start off with a win.
Yeah,
I'll do number 2. Looks easy.
easements. Jeff.
Which one?
And are we gonna do all the, let's see, we got the
Who's doing 2? I'm sorry, Jeff.
3.
No, Bob was doing
I'm
1 and 2.
Bob's doing
Oh,
1
you
and
do
2.
1
One
and
and
2,
two.
okay.
Jeff's doing
Jeff's
3.
doing 3. Authorize
Okay, do that.
treasurer, authorize chapter 90, rescind bond authorizations. Who wants to do, we'll just do one, each one individually.
I'll do 4.
Joe? 5,
I'll do 5.
Jeff? 6,
I'm done.
rescind bond authorizations. This is a cash neutral issue, right?
It is, it relates to some bonding authorization that we have for the Bat Shelter School.
So this is money they haven't spent and it was never borrowed.
That's right.
I'll take it.
Sean? And fund the town share of 62 culvert. This one is gonna take, is Dick gonna put a presentation together or something that I need
Yes.
to do?
No, he's putting together a presentation.
All right, so, Steve?
Yep.
It's gonna be a very fast presentation, I bet. Dick,
Yeah,
so
really.
quick.
Well, I mean, I think they gotta put some information up as to why it has to be
Yeah.
done.
Photos from the last 2 storms?
Yeah, I hope he's out there taking pictures. Fund the stormwater infiltration project, that's,
Janet. and-
what,
Janet and Dick.
Janet?
Yeah.
So who's gonna read the motion? I'll read it. And I guess I'll talk to her, find out what she's gonna present. Conservation revolving fund, these are all the reauthorizations, we wanna do them all at once?
That's the initial motion that'll be put forth, is for Articles 9 through 17 to be voted, and that's how it was done in the
Yeah.
past.
9 through 17 will be, why don't I do it? And if it gets split, we'll
Divvy it up later.
So,
divvy it up. And then energy conservation rebates revolving
that would-
fund,
that would be me.
that'll be Jeff.
Which number was that anyway? Was that
18,
18?
Mr. Chairman?
Who's
Yes.
doing 18?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yes.
we have an issue, right?
We do, yeah, we do. You're aware of the issue concerning the fact that the Department of Revenue won't let us do this?
No, that I wasn't aware
All
of.
right, well, the Finance Director did check with the Department of Revenue concerning the establishment of a revolving fund to receive energy conservation rebates. And according to the Department of Revenue, the rebates and credits would not be used to establish a revolving fund. The method that the DOR would approve is to capture these monies and then have those monies be credited to the general fund and close out to free cash. Therefore, the town could appropriate it as certified free cash at a future town meeting, so they will not allow.
So we're gonna pass over this. Jeff, you still can do it.
Will we be able to do something by October? No, free cash isn't generally certified by October.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it will be.
Will be.
It
Yes, it will
will be,
be.
yeah. The issue, though, is, again,
When do we
is
get the
is
money?
the risk factor associated with what
Free cash.
happens with free cash at the end of the year.
Right.
We don't have, without, well, it's something we should sit down with the collector on.
What do we have for rebate monies that could be gonna be coming available in short order? Is there,
Thought it was somewhere in the range of $17,000.
Now, they said that we could take it off a bill. Would DOR allow that?
well, you can take it off the bill, but then you don't see it.
You don't see it.
When it comes off a bill, it doesn't go into free cash, it could get lost that way. Right?
Yeah, and if we establish the revolving fund with available funds from building maintenance or energy, we can do the offset. Take $17,000 off of building energy costs, transfer it in here to establish it and get the seed money going. And then when it comes in, well, actually, we won't expend it, take it off the bill.
Come off the bill.
Mhm.
I suspect DOR won't allow that either, but I think it's worth a question, maybe.
Oh, no, it's just a question of appropriation. We can transfer money from any line item we want,
No, I mean,
establish a fund.
The problem is what they're saying, it's not available cash until after it's certified.
Right.
Until it's certified, right, so what we're saying is, I think it's important to get this thing going and get it established, and whatever mechanism we determine internally to handle it, whether it be
Well,
crediting that account with anticipated funds, with
is
non-expenditure.
it not that we can have a revolving fund for it, but we can't put the money directly into it, is that
you
what
put the
you're
rebate money.
saying?
can't,
No.
that's it.
What was that?
You can't put the
You
rebate.
put the
money.
rebate money into it. You can set up
So
a
within the
fund, but
four
that can't be the
corners of
mechanism.
this article, could it be read in such a way that
Mm. Says specifically
we could
rebate.
just set up the account?
Revolving account.
And then we can figure out how to.
Well, then you'd have to take and be committed to take whatever rebates came in each October or whatever and transfer them into the revolving fund. Can't do that.
No.
No, it says
We can't
rebates.
transfer it to
No,
the
they say,
revolving.
what the opinion from DOR says is you have to vote free cash specifically for the purpose.
No, that's what I'm saying, is you'd vote, in other words, you just keep track of what came in, and then at an appropriate time, when you have free cash, you put it into the revolving fund. Or you can't do that.
I don't think you wanna do that. I think it's
Okay.
easier just to vote the free cash out for whatever purpose you wish for energy conservation projects.
All right, so we're gonna pass this over, is your recommendation?
That's,
Is it worth
And
asking
it's-
DOR if we want to use the rebates to reduce a utility bill?
I'll touch base with the finance director. He was the one that passed the information on to me.
I don't know if the article will allow us to do that.
No, I know the article may not, but
Well, I mean, it may be something we have to deal with in October.
But, yeah, I would set up some sort of mechanism for October to identify whatever the savings are, identify them, and force us to put it into
Mhm.
this account.
But we can't
But
just
directly apply
set
it
up
to a
a
project.
revolving fund right now? We
No,
really-
I think what Greg is saying, you
Account-
don't need a
revolving account,
revolving
that's it.
fund. If it has to go in a free cash, you just apply that to the project. You apply a certain amount of money in an article to the project.
But what DOR suggests is if you wanna set up an account, you wanna call it an energy conservation stabilization account. So that would be the final repository for any of these monies that get approved into free cash.
But rather than what's being suggested here, energy conservation rebate revolving account, don't identify it as a rebate, because that limits, I mean, we can set up an energy conservation revolving account, as suggested, but leave the rebates out of it. We can set up the revolving account for specified projects, and then, in our own mind and in our own county here, apply those rebates into that
Right.
account.
So you
when
think
the
we
funds become
can, you
available.
think we can reword an article that fits within the four corners of this
I don't-
article?
I think your problem is the fact that it has rebates in it. I think that's
We-
the
we-
problem.
But,
ta- we
but
take
you
the
can
rebates
diminish
out.
that, you can I think that's okay.
I don't know, that is really a change, I think, well, I
I
don't
mean,
know
no,
how.
the notice of this here is to establish this energy conservation revolving account. You know, we're identifying a source as the rebates. There could be other sources though, too, of, that we may want to allocate funds from.
No, well, that was one of the conversations that we had. We had the RMLD as the sole source of the
Which would mean there wouldn't be any.
funds, which means we couldn't get it from any place else, and that was, we wanted to address that issue as well. But if you make it just an energy conservation revolving account, meaning the funds can come from more than one place, then that fits the four corners.
Could I forward you a copy of the DOR advisory, and then it'll give you an opportunity to see what they consider allowable and not allowable? I don't have it in front of me. I didn't print it off.
I would say if we can just